On today's episode of Watch Chair Go, we are here with my free 2004 Volvo XC90. If you remember, we bought a KTM Duke for 2,500 bucks, traded that for a Lexus, got all of our money back out of it, and now we've ended up with this free XC90 as part of the deal. Today, we're gonna fix one more part of this thing, getting us this much closer to trading this for something else, like an Aventador. Should be an even trade. What is going on, guys? I am Watch Chair Go, and like I said, today we're here with the XC90. This is a 2004 XC90, the second year it was in the US, and if you remember when I tore this thing down and started figuring out what was wrong with it, basically the whole cooling system had exploded. So today, with the help of our friends at FCP Euro, I'm going to throw a link in the description below, check out all the products we use for this thing. We're going to put it back together, at least a bit of it. Here we have a box from FCP Euro with what is all the parts to finish this, I think, and a bunch of parts for the S4 as well, all the Euro things. As you guys know, when it comes to the Euro parts, I get them from my friends at FCP Euro because they have everything. And when I say everything, I mean factory everything. Look at all of this, all of these parts from Volvo. These are like factory Volvo parts, really rare to see, honestly, any of this stuff. I think this is probably one of those deals where we just pour the box out. What do we got in there? Ah, the coolant for the Volvo, the Pentafrost. Unfortunately, we're draining the entire system, so I doubt that's enough Pentafrost. That was for the heater core replacement. Here we go. As far as I know, these are very rare. These are the actual metal pipes to the heater core that go inside the interior here. And this looks to me like a heater core. This is an Innerium Warmtaschur. Oh, it's translated. Interior heat exchanger. Right underneath that. Innerium Warmtaschur. That's German if I've ever heard it. So, this is a Molly heater core, and it's honestly probably exactly the factory one. Check it out. The heater core, if you didn't know, is literally just a small radiator. It keeps you warm by being a radiator. Ooh, this is nice. They made this one piece. A lot of these kits, this is just a bunch of random foam pieces, but on this one, we can put this on and then wrap the sides around to get the same seal the factory one had. That's gonna be cool. So this goes about like so. And then pull your side seals down here, push them all in, wrap all this around so we get a nice seal from the heater core, and lay down this one as well. That's nice. Cool. Try to make sure it's not in the way of the actual airflow. And then this piece here wraps around like so to seal the edge of this thing in the cabin so that no airflow escapes the heater core box. Installation or removal may only be carried out by qualified technicians. That sign can't stop me because I can't read. Well, we had this thing up on the lift so we could inspect it and find all the water leaks that happened when this thing was filled with water and frozen. And unfortunately we found there were multiples, of course, the thermostat housing nipple, the heater core itself inside the car, the lines to the heater core were leaking. A lot of leaks in the cooling system on this thing. So first, we're gonna get this thing off the lift to make it a little easier to reach into the engine bay, and because I need to open the driver door all the way. So let's go ahead and get it down. Here we go. This thing hasn't been moved in like 2 months. Oh, wow. All right. I can open the driver door now. We're good. Also, I've got a brand new key housing at home because this one is ruined. Like, it does, some of it works, but obviously like the key just flops and all of the housing's destroyed. So I got a brand new housing. We're gonna cut this one open and swap that in a video here soon. What? Free vanilla cone? Oh, it expired 5 years ago. Unfortunate. Okay, I'm gonna vacuum out the interior here and then we'll keep right on going. All right, now to get these heater core lines off of here. These are quick releases, and if we can, we gotta get a screwdriver back behind there. I'm probably way too big with this screwdriver, but luckily these lines are going in the trash. You might be reusing yours. Mine are already ruined, so that is what I needed right there. Come on. There we go. And then just kind of push in and pull out. maybe. Ah, I lost it. Okay, I got the tab out. Push in. These things have been on here forever. I bet the heater core lines are the hardest part of this whole job. The first one I had to break the locking ring and it popped right off. This one, of course, is the one that was already broken. It had frozen broke. So as soon as I twisted it, it came apart, but I did the same thing, lifted the tab up and trying to push in on that little white detent right there. Go like that and then wiggle and wiggle and wiggle and it'll come apart. That's what I had to do. Luckily, since it broke, I gave it 2 full turns and it came off. So the heater core lines are off. That was a huge job in itself. And I think on mine, I'm gonna even remove the retainer here in the engine bay, and that'll let me replace those aluminum lines. We're replacing every single piece of this one because who knows how much of it's broken. I assume all of it. So now our plan is to try to get all the water, any remaining water out of the heater core. I'm just gonna blast this thing with air and it's all water, that's for sure. That's fully clear. Hopefully that lets us get this heater core out without making a mess inside. Whole lot of water in there. Next up, we have to remove this. Ooh, look at all that water that just came out of there. That thing was definitely leaking. So we should be able to pull along here and release this thing. There we go. Definitely found our heater core leak. I was about to stick my head in there. Would have gotten covered. So this brown thing right there with the Volvo logo on it is the heater core on this, which is amazing. You don't have to rip the whole dash out of the XC90. What a huge win. So now I need to pull this under tray down and then hopefully that gives us the access we need. I think this is a T20 and it is. Thank you, Volvo, for being consistent with your interior screws. Now I think I can drop this whole panel. That's a big maybe. Okay, there's only one screw holding the heater core in, right here, T20 again. Now you can see the heater core. Those are the 2 lines that connect to it. They have quick disconnect clips. You just slide those clips that way, obviously, and then you can pull the lines out. Now, if you have the temperature control all the way in the hot position, it'll move the blend door arms there out of the way so you can slide this thing out. Man, I don't know where it broke, but it sure is broke. It honestly looks like the aluminum tube itself's broke because that leak is way up high. I've got some needle nose in there and that did not work, not one bit. Try again. Okay, it's moving. This is definitely a fight to get those clips out. There's clip number 1. I found that just kind of pulling the heater core out and then using a big screwdriver let me rip it right out of there. So now I should be able to pop that line. Yeah, look at that. And make a big mess in here. Let's see if we can see these blend doors moving. I think the answer is no, they do not want to move. Oh, there it is. Okay, she's clear. And with that clear, the heater core itself should just slide right out of here. Except I got the line hooked on it. Come on. All right, look at that. 1 heater core in a matter of 15 minutes instead of 8 hours. So there's 2 tins on the little retainer here. I think this is the retainer for these heater core lines. And there's a rubber seal on here. You gotta break that loose. Honestly, I think these lines are already just completely loose. Yeah, so I must have to go inside to get them out. It looks like to properly get these lines out, you need to pull this whole piece off of the dash. Instead, let's just pull a lot. As you can see, one of our brand new heater lines is in. These are the aluminum ones here. And as far as how I got the old ones out, look, you don't want to know. It involved pulling really, really hard and pushing really, really hard and eventually breaking this secret retainer that sits up in there, and it has a reinforcing fin on the airbox didn't break the airbox itself, but it popped that off, and that sits in there like that, and this thing is like, you cannot take this out without removing the entire dash. So the heater core, super easy job. These things were literally designed to never come out. They are like part of the side of the heater core. Well, we're not gonna let that slide because it should be simple to just finish the whole job. So I made it all simple. It all came out. Now I just need to get this last one in, and basically it involves like pushing it in there, getting the angle right, and then like rotating it, and then it sits like this. This is coming out. This is coming out of the bulkhead right there, and this is what goes into the heater core. It's tricky, but you can do it. I would say just be very determined, and you'll get this job done without having to pull the entire dash out. I mean, if the heater core is this easy, the line should be that easy too. So I'm just about there. One more wiggle and this thing will be wrapped up. We'll put the bulkhead back on the firewall and everything will be fine. This thing will hold just fine forever.
So the inner one I expect to take about 30 minutes when you're taking it out and putting it back in, but the outer one is fully in. That's all it takes. Done and done.
Well, I don't see the leak. I don't know exactly where this thing broke and caused all this water to come in the car itself. But anyway, we've got brand new O-rings for our brand new tubes. So I'm gonna go ahead and put those on there right now. And that should help us get a good seal on the heater core. We have brand new clamps. Everything going in this build is brand new. So most people reuse the clamps. We get to do it the easy way and slide these right back in. Show you how the clamps work real quick. If you couldn't see it in the car, the tube goes in, it has a little ridge on it, and that locks in like that. It's that simple. So it actually goes that direction to be precise. So I'm gonna go in there, throw these O-rings in, put in the heater core, and we'll put the bulkhead back on the firewall, and this thing will be tied up. All right, here's our heater core going in. Tubes are a little bit in the way there. And we got to wiggle past the brand new foam seals as well. And our new heater core is in, the retainer's in, the new O-rings are on. I am ready to put the new pipes into the heater core, which will take some wiggling, but you'll get it done. I actually need to get in there so I can see what I'm doing, but that's really all that happens right there. Very simple. There's little hooks up there on the airbox. Since I took these out, I need to make sure it's sitting in those hooks in the cradles and then put this all back together. I don't want it to miss the factory supports for those lines up there. You can actually see it right there. If you look straight up, those are the cradles, and it looks like I'm actually right in it. So, since that's the case, I'll do some wiggling and get this in there. I'm not gonna lie to you guys and tell you these clips are easy. I have heard that these clips are just so easy to do. It's no problem at all. It is a problem. You have to push with all your might on that tube to get it seated. Don't break anything, you know, but push like as hard as you can, get that clip in there, get it past like that first little notch, and then you can use a screwdriver and keep pushing it at the same time and kind of pry it sideways to get that in there. Like I said, the heater core is no big deal. The heater core tubes, if you have to replace those, ooh, I would not replace those. Maybe sell the car if you have to replace those. But you can see I have both tubes in there. I'm ready to put in the second clip, and they're all lined up and sitting in there very nicely. So we're just about done. So to make this easier, when these clips come out, they're both facing the rear of the car. I ended up pushing in right here at the edge of the tube. It has that flange on it. I pushed in on that with the screwdriver, got this clip started, and then fed it in from the front of the car, because that blend door actuator and all of its kind of cribbing up around it, all those plastic supports, you can't exactly get the clip back in around that thing very easily. So I figured this is the next best thing to do, and it's fully seated. I guarantee you that thing's not falling out. It is not going to move. There's so much pressure on that. And it's done. That's it. That's the job. Now I can get all the tools back out of here, put this trim on, and we are wrapped on the heater core in the XC90. If you just have to do the heater core, I bet you can do this in 15 minutes. If you have to do those lines, it's gonna be a huge job. It ends up taking about an hour, hour and a half, something like that. And it's a fight. It is a fight. So I'm hoping if you have an XC90 to do this on, I really hope you only have to replace the heater core. Easiest job ever. And now I can wiggle the bulkhead back on the tubes and everything like that. They just kind of push, 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 and push. A bunch of rubber on there. And then we'll get those holes lined up, shoot those 210s in, and that is it for the job. That does not want to fit in there. that worked out. All right, we should be all good to go on our bulkhead. And for the finishing touch here, put all these clips back in. I think we got it all. Put the shield back on up underneath here. It's really cool. Most manufacturers leave that light like in the plastic, and of course Volvo floated that thing in there on its own little tab just so it was easier to take apart. How nice, Volvo. There we go. It is in. Last 2 screws. And that's it. Heater core on a Volvo XC90, plus a bunch of other stuff that hopefully you never have to do. Anyway, huge thank you to our friends at FCP Euro. I'll throw a link in the description below. Like I said, check them out if you need parts for your Euro car. Volvo, Audi, BMW, Mercedes, Porsche, all that good stuff. Basically the whole VW group. And that is it for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to head on over to shop.watchjrgo.com for cool shirts just like this. And please like, share, subscribe, do whatever you want to do. And I will talk to you next time. And in the next video on the XC90, all we have to do is throw on these 4 hoses and a brand new reservoir, overflow reservoir. We got a new cap for that and that thermostat housing. The free Volvo will be back on the road with its new headliner, and I should go rebuild this key. That's gonna take a little bit. You have to cut these things open.